Welcome back. I'm Tasteless, your host, and this is Dreamhack Open Bucharest. We're now moving on to the semifinals. Our first match is going to be Jaedong against Impact, a ZVZ casted by the Muslim and In Control. I think you guys are both going for Jaedong here. I know at least In Control is the Muslim.
I have to, but no, Jaedong, he is one of the best, if not the best, ZVZ player in the world. The series against Snoot, he got pushed to the limit and beyond and came back.
Absolutely.
Jaedong's so good, but these players, Impact's also been playing, they're all insanely good.
I have not seen Impact ZVZ. Have you guys had a chance?
I think I saw him play one ZVZ set against Action recently.
Okay.
I do believe. I can't remember it, though. So it wasn't something so outstanding that I was like clapping my hands and being happy about it.
He's playing inspired. He's playing super rock steady. I get a...
Rock steady.
He's bebopping all over.
Solid.
Rock steady is one of the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, I think rock solid is what I was trying to get out of my brain.
He's not playing bebop either. No, he is just rock solid here. Not even the rat.
That would be the chance. And I also like this backstory. People have been tweeting this around. There's a great documentary that went out called State of Play. It was about Jaedong's kind of upbringing as a pro gamer, and it's got a little guy in there named Mekia, I think was his name back then. Impact.
I think it was Mekia.
Mekia?
Mekia.
Oh yeah, that's right. M-E-K-I-A, I believe. Yes. But he actually was kind of a small part of that documentary, kind of joining up and becoming a pro gamer. And they asked him in that video about Jaedong, and he said, I think I'm one of the only players that can beat him. And lo and behold, like 3,000 years later, he will have a chance.
Yeah,
and here we are now. History is being made right now. I got to say, this is a little bit of a treat for you and I, especially since we're normally casting the GSL. We've had a lot of Protosses recently, so this Final Four, quite a difference.
Got rid of them. We got
rid of them. The Protosses are extinct except for the casters right now. So
that's right.
I think this is going to be a fantastic match. I'm saying don't count out Impact. I think he's solid. I think he's looking really good. He's new. He's young, but he's still unfazed so far, at least as far as we can tell, by how this tournament's been going.
He did not look nervous against MC. That's something that's kind of cool to go against there. And if you're not nervous against MC, it's probably a really good chance he's not necessarily nervous here. As I think it was Artosis said earlier, what does he have to lose? I mean, people expect him to lose. It's only a win from here.
This is true. It's a win-win situation from here. Even if he goes out, he's already made his mark in history. And hopefully he can only get better from there. Whereas Jaedong, this has been an issue that's been going on for a while. He's been getting deep in a lot of tournaments throughout, even the course of the year.
What a hell of an issue he's had, you know? Just going deep in tournaments, but not winning it.
And historically, we saw this with players more like Stork, for instance, in StarCraft 1. But now we're here in StarCraft 2, and the second place thing, it's becoming an issue. Even if he gets this far, is he going to get another second place? When is he going to keep getting first over and over and over? That's going to be an issue. It's going to be on his mind. Artosis, for you in this match, we already know the Jaedong train is over here. Are you rooting for an Impact, or
no? I mean, I want Jaedong to be able to take this. But the thing is, if Impact wins here, it's such a boost to his career, right? He beats Jaedong, he gets the finals of a Dreamhack. That's huge. He's probably going to come back to more this year. So for him, this is actually much more meaningful. But as any young Zerg pro gamer aspiring to be great, you look up to Jaedong. That is who you look up to. So this is like probably an idol to him, someone he's studied heavily, someone who he's probably modeled big parts of his play after. There's a lot of pressure here.
And to play him in a meaningful match. This is on a stage in front of an amazing audience.
This is a ladder game.
You guys at home, we have a great audience, super excited about it.
Damn right.
A lot of money on the line. Romania, you guys have been beautiful and awesome. And it's a pleasure to play them in a meaningful match. If you hit them on ladder, it's like, that's cool too. You save that replay, but to play them on a big stage.
It's one thing to take a game off somebody. It's another thing to take it off when the world is watching. And with that, we're going to start the semifinals. Let's bring out our players and see what they have to say before this match begins.
Thank you very much, Tasteless. Guys, it is my pleasure to introduce our first two semifinalists, Impact and Jaedong. Jaedong, you've shown us your JVZ 4 times already in this tournament, twice in the group stages, once in the round of 16, and again in the round of 8. Now you're in the semifinals and you have a chance to show us your JVZ for a 5th time. How are you feeling about that? 이제 일단 JVZ를 벌써 4번이나 봤어요. 두 분은 조에서 봤고 이제 그 16강, 뭐 8강에서도 봤고 이번에도 잘 볼 수 있을까요?
신기하게 이번 대회는 저그전만 하게 됐는데 뭐 제가 제일 잘하는 종족전이고 이번 4강에서도 제가 제일 잘하는 종족전을 이겨서 꼭 결승까지 갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
So he says, funnily enough, at this Dreamhack, I've played a large amount of ZVZs. It's the matchup that I am the most confident in, and I feel like, after this semifinals, I'm really confident to get to the finals itself and do well at this tournament. Now, Impact. There was a documentary called State of Play where you stated that, you respect Jaedong as a player, you think he's amazing, and yet if there's a player that will beat him, it will be you. You have your chance here at the semifinals here at Dreamhack Open Bucharest. How do you feel about that? 일단 그 State of Play 그 다큐에서 이재동 선수를 엄청 존경하고 좋아하는 선수이긴 하지만 누가 그 선수를 이기겠다면 자기가 하겠다 이렇게 얘기를 했는데 그 기회가 이제 왔어요. 이 자리에서 그 기회가 왔는데 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
그건 영화니까 그렇게 말한 거고요. 이렇게 좋은 기회가 왔으니까 놓치지 않고 꼭 잡도록 하겠습니다.
So he says, actually, I just kind of talked really big because it was a documentary. But now that I do have that great chance, I'll try to do my hardest and be able to kind of live up to that, what I said. Thank you very much, Impact. And Jaedong, shake hands. Guys, let's get this underway. Tasteless, back to you.
Again, guys, this is going to be a best of 3. Very unforgiving, so much on the line right now. Now, the Jaedong guys over here, what are you thinking? 2-1 here, Jaedong, or 2-0?
2-0, yeah.
2-0?
I'm going to go with 2-1. Impact's been playing really, really well.
And Artosis.
I'll go 2-0. I mean, Jaedong, he just looks so unstoppable.
I'm
only
Snoop
myself.
Unstoppable, but it was so close against Snoop.
Yeah,
and yet
I was saying
he wasn't
except against
stopped.
Snoop. Yes, indeed. He was stopped, and then he still won. Is how
and
that
then
last
continued
game
to
really
go,
went.
and then didn't stop after that game.
And here he is, still going.
And think about this as well.
Unstopped.
If Life does win in the next match we're going to do, well, then we have another ZVZ. And right now, Jaedong has been just due to his ability to be so good in ZVZ, he's managed to get this far. If he gets to Life, do you think he takes out Life? I mean, this is a really interesting situation.
Life kills him. But, if he hits Life in the finals and ends up winning, he wins this tournament through ZVZ and beating Yoda once.
Wow.
That would be crazy.
That's a crazy story, but that just might be our reality here. We do have our players getting into their booths right now, getting everything ready.
Ideas.
As soon as we have confirmation that all the players are comfortable and set up, we will start this out.
I like seeing that Axiom, that Total Biscuit hype train living out. They're like, yo, you said some big words a couple years ago. And he's like, actually, it was fake for a movie. And they're like, how do you feel now? And he's like, I just kind of want to win. I don't know. If I go home, they'd give me more money.
Let's talk about what is on the line, right? There's money, there's notoriety, there's
WCS
points. Exactly.
Yes. Lots of them. 4,000 here, I believe.
4,000 WCS points, that is correct.
That's a lot of WCS points.
It's 4,000 of them. It's a lot.
It's almost 5,000 WCS points.
It's
more than 3,000, okay.
The same number of points as there are actually people here that fill up this venue. We've already had 4,000 people filling up the maximum occupancy. This is a real treat down here in Bucharest, seeing how many people just love and think esports are awesome, love esports, and think esports is great. And I believe, I was told earlier on today, they expected it to be about 10,000 people total that actually managed to come through here.
Yeah, and it's getting late Sunday night, so, it's not 10,000, but everyone that is here is worth 5 in my book, so we're actually closing in on 20.
At least. You guys have been here really late. You guys are great. But enough about that. Let's go on to this match. The game is now starting. It will be casted by DeMuslim and In Control. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. They're so handsome, aren't they? That Tastosis.
Can't compete.
Can't. You can only try to be around it. Let's go ahead and introduce these players with the underdog story coming out, earning his spot, the young recruit to Team Axiom. It is Impact.
And now, spawning on the other side of Overgrowth, in the bottom left, we have E.G. Jaedong.
And I really like how these stories play out. It's really cool. Sure, you know, he hyped it up a little bit in the movie, but what Artosis was talking about, all the Zergs looking up to Jaedong, and again, to be clear, this is not just my bias. I talked to a lot of these guys, and in their interviews at Dreamhack and so on, they say a lot of the times, they're like, I grew up watching him. It's a huge honor to play against him. I'm really looking forward to it. And I love that honorable, respectful side story that they all seem to maintain. And then you ask Jaedong about it, and he's like, I guess I'm kind of the old guy now, and I need to win to show that young punk that I can still do it.
Certainly. And
at 24.
Game, yeah, that is old these days, huh?
Yeah.
But immediately we see that Impact opening up with a 9 pool, and Jaedong, unfortunately, going to be at a build deficit here with a hatch first. So immediately things are going to get pretty choppy very early on.
Absolutely. Look at the young guy. This is a cut from the Jaedong cloth. This is something how he has started almost every series, and Impact is going to do that. Jaedong, in fact, might be going for hatch first here precisely because he started most of his ZVZs so far with some kind of early aggression. In the Muslim, 3 drones, gas. I mean, these lings are out and coming as the spawning pool goes down. It does not look good for Jaedong.
The pool is so late, and Jaedong does see this now with this Overlord. The lings do run by under it. And what is Jaedong's reaction going to be? You kind of have to leave that hatch going up to kind of buy time. While it may die, it most likely will die. Jaedong has to micro like a god to survive this.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hold, but it's a place he's been before, as all Zergs have. This is a kind of common situation. And it looks like Impact is going to designate everything towards the natural, which is, as you said, probably the best it can be for Jaedong. In fact, at the last second here, splitting off 4 and going inside the main. But even that little bit of time is going to give Jaedong just a little bit more time to not be drone drilling around and instead mining.
Wow, Jaedong tried to play a bit nifty there to try and get a surround, but did not pay off. Not one drone has died yet, but is it only a matter of time? It does look like it, but he's microing so well, keeping all these drones on this safe spot here.
And the hatchery actually does complete. Jaedong has just enough money for a few Zerglings here, and he has started 1 queen. When these Zerglings pop out, so do the drones. And Impact is behind.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jaedong's playing very aggressive here with these drones.
He's down 3 harvesters.
Hasn't lost 1 drone yet.
No, and Impact's going to go ahead and make 3 drones behind this, so he's not going for it all out.
No, and his hatchery is not down. It's not even started yet. Yes, these lings are going to die from Jaedong here. Great micro by Impact, keeping those 2 lings away, and they have not died, so the firepower of Impact's army is still alive. This 1 ling by Jaedong, though, is it going to get a few kills? Yes, it does. The micro from these Korean players is already insane.
Both these players displaying phenomenal skill, and Impact is going to do a little bit more damage, but I don't believe this hatchery is in danger of dying. Lings of Jaedong are going to chase it off, and the queen comes down here just to make absolutely sure. Now, the hatchery of Jaedong has completed. Supply-wise, they're very equal. Harvester count, 2 advantage for Impact as well. But if Jaedong can get out a 2nd queen, which he's not yet starting to work on, and you know what? Belay that order, as it were. We have a Baneling nest going down for the Red Zerg. He is going for it.
He really is going for it. Luckily, Jaedong's speed is not too far behind Impact's. He did hold off that harass pretty damn well, actually, and it wasn't even harass, it was a rush, but made it look somewhat easy.
Yeah, this is a big move here too, DeMuslim, actually chasing these lings. It's not giving him the space he needs to make the Banelings, but as I say that, speed's about to finish. I don't know why Jaedong senses, okay, well, he doesn't see a hatch at the natural, so he has to figure you're doing some kind of Ling-Baneling push.
And now he sees all these lings under his Overlord running by, so he's going to be knowing exactly what's going to hit him. Does he see these Banelings on the left with these lings? Yes, he does. Is he going to stop most of them morphing? Does look like it, so at least a few of them stopped morphing. Does he kill that Baneling? Yes.
He's going to cancel 2 of them, buying himself a little bit of more time. The Spinecrawler is actually kind of tragically close to the hatchery. It's in danger of perhaps the splash damage killing both the Spinecrawler and the hatchery. If we get to that point, we'll see if Impact opts for that. There's no drones here to be targeted. The Queen's getting surrounded here just a little bit. Baneling's looking for that connection, and they're looking for the Zerglings. Queens do get surrounded for the most part. One has pretty good surface area. There's the detonations, but Jaedong is, well, he's made okay for right now. And in fact, the hatchery's starting to get targeted down. Impact needs to pick his priorities.
Look at this micro by Jaedong. Both the micros so well, but all the Banelings died.
Get it.
But the hatchery fell too. So here, the game has technically been reset, but Impact definitely looking in a superior position right now. Extra harvesters. The hatchery is going down too. He's got Baneling tech already done. This is not looking good for Jaedong.
No, it looks very good for Impact. Jaedong's going to go out here and remake the hatchery, but he doesn't have the money for it. He's down in supply. As you said, they have the same stuff, Ling and Baneling, but Impact has a better economy behind it. He's going to have faster production. And the Baneling Nest for Jaedong is only now finishing, if he does let it finish. And when it does, I mean, there's already Banelings in response to his potential Zergling. So I don't see the window of opportunity here for him.
No, unfortunately for him, the build orders just weren't in his favor. And yeah, when a build order isn't in your favor in a mirror matchup, it means so much more than any other matchup, given that you have the exact same cards to deal with. And Impact taking a pretty big supply lead here very early on.
Yeah, and a lot of Lings piling in here as well. Baneling's trying to be morphed in for Jaedong. Does Impact spot him? Because if he does, they're easy pickings. He's actually just going to go for the hatch and split off. Going for the Banelings as well. Beautiful play right now. And Impact, he's looking to, I mean, he's actually, he takes a Baneling there. And in fact, Jaedong's going to turn this around a little bit. A couple of Banelings waddling in for Impact here as well. But Jaedong's, as long as he doesn't lose these two Banelings, he should be okay.
Impact's looking strong in control, very, very strong. Running into the main base here with a couple of Banelings, but they do not get the connections that they need. And those drones do survive, all with one hit remaining, but Impact is not laying off on the pressure right now.
No, and it's to his advantage to do that. He has so much more production. As you said, he has more harvesters. The supply gap is widening, albeit very slowly. Baneling's trying to make their way in here.
Ooh, loads of units dying there. Luckily, those Banelings do not kill any drones, though. So again, Jaedong's holding on. But Impact is relentless here with this aggression.
This last couple of Banelings actually a little bit of a waste, but he's earned enough of a head to do that. More Lings coming across the map, as you can see. And Impact really wants to score a win here. He is sneaking in a few drones, but he's looking to get the poor Jaedong even poorer.
Really he is, and here Jaedong is somewhat holding on. Oh, this Baneling dancing with it with the Lings. Great micro by Impact. These Banelings do not want to really blow up on a single Ling. 3 Lings for a Baneling, that's somewhat worth it. 3 more Banelings rolling in now, 4 more Banelings. Where are these going to connect?
Oh, all the Banelings actually getting picked off
Great
at the
micro by
ramp.
Jaedong, taking out all those Banelings without really suffering too many losses. The harvester count, 27 to 20 in favor of Impact, and the game is somewhat settled down.
You know, you used the word reset earlier, and honestly, it's starting to close in on that. A couple of favorable Baneling connections for Jaedong, perhaps a little bit more wasteful on the Banelings. You know, I talked about how he'd kind of earned the advantage to do that, but he overspent, as it were. A few of them did go a little bit beyond his means. That being said, though, still, we can say Impact is in the lead for now. It's just worrisome if you're Impact because, honestly, this was like his game to lose, and it's becoming a little bit more of a believable story.
You very rarely see people hold off a 9 pool when they go 15 hatch and then gas first. After that, and I mean, this Baneling didn't really get to do, or the Ling didn't get to do much. It did make a Baneling blow up, which is cool, but Impact's lead. Oh! A lot of Lings going down. Jaedong needed something like that to happen to even think about getting in this game.
I don't know how he does it. He's really, really good at these comeback games. And you know, we've been talking and ranting and raving about how good his ZVZ is, but it feels like for half those games that we're talking about how good he is, he's actually coming back to win. So it's something to be said for the level of play here at Dreamhack. Behind this, we have a Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber. So again, Impact is just looking to aggro potential overreactions or mistakes from Jaedong. Jaedong has been a little bit unforthcoming with that, as it were, and we have even more Banelings waddling up here. But again, Jaedong has a Queen, he's got more Lings coming out, he should be just fine.
Look at these supplies, though, in control, and look at the harvester count. I mean, Jaedong's done so well to get even remotely back into this. Yeah. Impact, though, a big connection. These Lings focusing down those drones, so, wow. He really isn't letting Jaedong get back into this game.
No, that was a nice score right there, and then again with the target fire, as you said, doing the damage he needed. Behind this, both players have not started the third. In fact, they're not even in place to know about the third because of this unrelenting aggression, but again, Impact looking to secure a little advantage. He's the one with the Evolution Chamber, not yet being used. Doesn't quite have the money for it. There it is, as I say it. And Jaedong trailing behind. Slower Roach Warren. Non-existent Evolution Chamber just yet. Again, keep your eye on him, though. Yeah, no Lair even.
Yeah, he's behind in absolutely every way, but still trading pretty decently in these engagements. If we look at the unit loss tab, he's actually lost less resources than Impact, so he's definitely displaying that he has micro and he has the ability to fend off or hold on to this game, as impossible as it may, but Impact certainly looking very, very strong in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really cool, actually, because Jaedong has done all he could to be where he is. And again, we talk about him kind of coming back, but even as we say that, it's a 20 supply advantage, and it just got closed a little bit as we have an explosion of roaches coming out. But Impact is carving for himself at each stage of this CVZ advantages. I think that's a really cool thing to see and say. He has never really been behind. Yes, you talk about the builder advantage, and that certainly is real, but he's also controlled this so well. He's exchanged Banelings very well. He's playing a beautiful game of ZVZ right now.
He's known exactly where he was right from the get-go. Yeah. He had the advantage, he killed the hatch, then he got his hatch up by the time Jaedong just started his. So his game plan's been definitely there the whole time. And then he said to himself, look, for every drone that you do not make and every one that I can trickle in, that's just me getting further ahead, so I'm going to keep on the pressure the whole time.
And Jaedong is going to kind of move in a position to at least clean up his third area if he wants to take that. He's got a lot of roaches coming out, and if you look at that production tab, there's not a sustained number of roaches coming out, so this seems to be kind of that safety number of roaches, not the number you would then reinforce with an attack. His lair does finish, and speed is finishing for the roaches of Impact. So again, Impact ahead in every which way. How can Jaedong come back from this? Well, it's going to be that classic Jaedong. He needs to look for big counterattacks and opportunities to get at the drones. Right now, he's actually surrounding a bunch of roaches. He actually
loses his third in the meantime, though, or rather has it cancelled. So this was a trade that both of them were doing, but just worked out better for Impact and yet again.
Right, and he went for the attack on the roaches, but honestly, it was maybe a straight-up trade at best. He didn't actually kill all of them. And losing a third behind like that, as you said, is just devastating. So Jaedong, where does he go from here? If you look back, again, just speed plus 1 range attack. He doesn't even have the 4th gas at his natural. As I say that, it does go down. But I feel like Impact has done enough work where all of a sudden, with this now mining third, that increase in production, he could look to put Jaedong down.
He really could. 30 supply ahead, has a third base now ahead of his opponent, upgrade, advantage, just everything's going in Impact's way. And despite Jaedong showing great fortitude and just great defense, Impact, I'm not sure it's comebackable.
No, it's that's what's so cool about Impact is that, again, all throughout the tournament, it has not been big gambits or huge risks that he's taken to get these advantages. He's just such a rock-solid, not rock-steady note player who, once he gets these advantages, it's very hard to see him give it up. I mean, I think back to the Hero match in the ZVP last night, where he ended up falling in that first series to Hero, and I felt like he got a big advantage, moved out to the middle of the map, and made the mistake, and then Hero capitalized with a backfield Warp Prism. And I feel like that was almost a learning moment for Impact inside of this own tournament, because since then I have not seen him make that kind of a mistake.
And look at this, Impact running in superior roach numbers. Zergling's at the third, going to cancel that too. No matter what happens here, it does look like he is going to win this fight, but he is dealing severe damage to that third too. Impact played an absolutely solid game here.
Oh yeah, superior numbers is right. Even with the faster reinforcements, it seems Jaedong is just going to flat out lose that fight. GG is called, and the young Impact is making good on what he said in the movie a long time ago.
Even though he said it was just talking big for the movie, Jaedong must have been one of his favorite players back then, and getting the chance to play against one of your favorites, if not your favorite player, and being 1-0 up, man, he's going to be feeling the pressure right now.
Tastosis, you guys are rejoining us. What were your thoughts on that ZVZ?
That was pretty crazy there by Impact. He really is playing so well today.
Yeah.
I love that he opened with a very cheesy strategy. It felt like Jaedong was out microing for a while, but he got his natural down anyways, droned ahead. It was just really great play.
I feel like Impact is really the true, now that we have all the results coming in here, the dark horse of the tournament.
Sure.
He is looking so solid, so scary. And Jaedong, who has ZVZ'd his entire way, almost entire way to get here, is now hitting a wall.
So far. I mean, the kind of cool thing about that, to go back to what Artosis said, is that yes, it was a cheesy opening. Demuslim and I were like, okay, well, this is a build order win. It absolutely should be. Jaedong pulls some rabbit out of his hat. He comes out, if not ahead, then certainly on pretty close to equal footing. But it was actually the follow-up from Impact, the micro battle between Ling and Baneling, where he started to secure his massive advantage. And that was just straight up outplaying Jaedong. And that's got to be a huge confidence booster. If you're looking at that and saying, I can hang with this guy. In fact, I was pretty dominant. I'm feeling good.
What I'm really wondering here is this simply because they know each other's playstyle, or rather Impact knows Jaedong's playstyle so well? Does you feel like he has him just solved here? Remember, Jaedong did do very well against Snoot, but it wasn't like Jaedong just dominated and tore through it. It was actually a pretty close match. I mean, he's doing well in this matchup, but it's not like it's a breeze. He hasn't mastered it. He's just surviving via being good at it.
It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of study put in. Jaedong has played so many ZVZs that Impact's been able to watch a lot at this event. I think that's all definitely factoring in. He's probably running some numbers in his head, like, will a cheese like this work here? Yeah, you know what? I think it will based on what I saw from Jaedong. So definitely he has an advantage in that area.
And even if it doesn't work out, the first game of the series, it's going to make your opponent think about what you're going to do later on down the line. So I think it was a smart play by Impact. Well, obviously it's smart because it won, but it was a smart play for a series play.
Well, it's only fair we've been gushing over Jaedong, who's opened with that cheese in the last few ZVZs, and this time around he got a taste of his own medicine, and Impact did it great.
It does look like we're ready now for game number 2. Let's get hype, guys. Impact versus Jaedong here in Dreamhack Open, Bucharest. Loading up now. Gentlemen, enjoy.
All right, thank you, Latte Sos. Let's go ahead and introduce these players. In the top right-hand side, dominating game number 1 from Axiom, it is Impact.
And spawning in the bottom left side of Frost, it is EG's Jaedong.
The map is Frost, one of the older maps of the map pool, something that's survived the latter seasons for a while now. A 4-player map, a large map. So both players, as we can see, clearly not spawning quote-unquote correctly. That would be the craziest thing we've ever seen in our lives, scout cross map. But Jaedong seems to be fairly undeterred so far, at least. We're not seeing what we have seen in the past, which is early pool. Could end up being a 15 pool or even a hatch first.
Yeah, I mean, from that first game, he was microing a little better than Impact. Nobody can deny that. That is not bias. He was. So is he likely to open up a 15 pool this game, maybe? And if your opponent opens up 15 hatch, you are a few drones behind, but can he make that up? I might be thinking to play a solid game like that, but here we do have his drone moving down to make a hatchery, and Impact is the one going for pool at 15.
I can't help but chuckle because it's Jaedong basically. These best of 3s are so savage. It's so short. You know, we've talked about this all tournament long. It will be a best of 5 grand final in a couple of rounds, but best of 3 is so short and shallow. So we talk about playing these best of series, and I love this move from Jaedong. He got build order disadvantage because he was playing the macro game number 1. Game number 2. He just does it again. He says, you don't have the balls to do that again. There's no way in heck. And in this case, he's correct. It's actually going to be Impact that goes with a much, much safer build, 15 spawning pool.
And ZVZ is so savage within regards to build order wins early on. You have your 15 hatch, you have your 15 pool, and then you have your 9 pools. They all have, or they all go in a mini circle of death in which one beats which. And Jaedong, his life is on the line. Would you go... Personally, I'd go for the safest play, but that does not make me a champion, whereas Jaedong is. So this play is going to work out for him.
Very interesting. It's actually 6 lings out for Impact. More standard is 2 to 4, and they're really kind of scouty lings, but not scouting his opponent first, and then sending out his overlord to top left as the secondary overlord. Doesn't see another overlord there as well. So he knows, for the most part, Jaedong is bottom left. But these 6 lings is a little bit of investment. I don't want to make it sound like he's like, he's obviously not all inning or something crazy like that, but he is playing super safe.
Yeah, what are you going to achieve with those 6 lings?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what you're asking.
What do you catch,
You don't really catch anything. You're going to run into a pretty similar link count, but with queens too. At most, he just forces these drones to dance around, I guess, but maybe he'll prove us wrong right here.
He's going to try. He's going to go ahead. And again, Jaedong just kind of fading back here because he is the guy with only 4 lings versus the 6. The 6 make their way in here, but they're getting deflected by the drones, and just more time for the queen to come out. The queen does pop out, and we have our answer. In fact, these Zerglings are in danger of being trapped, and that would be not super bad, but not good.
Not good indeed. Drone counts are very similar, 20 to 21. The big difference here is Jaedong has speed halfway done, meaning he'll have map control after this. Yes, the drone took a bit of a hit from the queen there. It was a little unfortunate. But these lings do die, so Jaedong immediately, build order-wise and strategically, takes a little bit of an edge here.
He has map control. And what's good for Impact to turn this frown upside down is that he did scout out that fast gas, and he was going gasless anyway, so he doesn't lose much as well. He was always going to drone behind this. He's not going to try for any kind of slow ling thing. And he's also going to always have these queens kind of anchoring his natural. So the 6, we're critical of it. We're like, it should have been 2 to 4. And that certainly would have been better for him because he would have had the same thing accomplished, only at a lesser rate. But here we are. He should be just fine. Safe, and his build is going as per usual.
Queen wall is always pleasant. 2 Evos blocking off 2. Is he going to put both of those to use later on? We'll see. Maybe he's going roaches. We don't really know yet. This could be anything still.
Sure.
An early lair for Jaedong here. It seems that his playstyle, he likes to go for 2 base economy, going up to lair rather than going for 3 base. So Yeah, I really don't know where this is going to go from here. It just, 4 gases, it looks like 2 base muted.
It should be, especially on these larger maps where there's a really good chance you'll, A, clear up a lot of those spotting overlords.
Ooh, the Lings do get in here, so they will get a full scout on. And you may think this isn't the biggest deal, but getting to count gases, there are no gases in the main, there's no lair being done. Running back down to the natural, it doesn't really make it, but this is a really good scout for Jaedong.
And he actually might even confirm this newly formed lair. That's good.
Runs back in, lair, an extractor going down, not the 4th one though, so he knows he's going to be ahead in gas. He's going to go down to the natural, no, not yet.
No, he sees a lot of queens, though. But to kind of go back to what I was saying, that the mutas give such strength on this map, in particular because it's large, you get a lot of overlords, but also the mobility of the mutas really get to take advantage of that when you have more space to really see that. In fact, these Lings get down to the natural and they see the Roachborn as well. So Jaedong has all information. He knows everything.
Picked off a little drone there, too. One thing that's confusing me a little bit here is the Ling speed by impact at this late stage in the game. Given that he's going for Roaches, quite obviously, in quite a few queens, I'm wondering what he plans on doing with those Lings.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather probably see like a Carapace upgrade, or if you're going to skip that altogether, then perhaps save for a big explosion of Roaches, or even getting Roach speed the second this finishes. I have to agree with you. That's a little bit interesting. Well, we have our answer. That's actually 20 Zerglings being made right this second. And this is actually kind of a classic, I don't want to call it a timing, but a response, if you will. The third base is a tug-of-war game for both Zerg players. You want to have enough Lings to defend your own, but also cancel your opponents, but while you're teching behind that as well.
This was a little unfortunate for Impact. He did not have this creep spread from this Overlord spreading, so that Spinecrawler was not done in time. All these slow Lings are not going to be there in time to save that hatchery, and it is cancelled, so Jaedong takes, again, another lead.
And that's really nice. The creep does actually get that Spinecrawler down now, and there's 2 queens there, but as you said, it gets restarted. We had actually a scout inside the main base of Jaedong, and it did not see the Spire. Of course, when he sees this many Lings and no Roaches whatsoever, he can probably infer that it is a Mutalisk build. We have a lot of Zerglings coming over here, by the way, from Impact.
A lot of Zerglings by both of them, actually. 32 and 48 respectively, and Mutas are going to be joining the fray too, but Impact certainly outnumbering. Jaedong's amount of Zerglings here. If he takes out the third, they're on even keel somewhat.
Well, Jaedong's just trying to buy time. This third should die. Impact's going to get a full surround here.
Oh, is he going to get it though? Transfuse goes down as well, so those Zerglings do have to run away.
Nice save. I spoke too soon. The Transfuse used just enough health there, and also if Impact would have tried to kill it, it's not guaranteed, and he would have certainly lost all the Zerglings. Now with the Mulus, the map control is certainly in favor of Jaedong. Lots of queens over here, however, so I'm not sure this third base is in danger of dying, but it's that's the only silver lining in that cloud.
Well, yeah, Impact's got an inferior economy, which he's further getting behind, given that he's having to make Spore Crawlers here. Each Spore Crawler is a drone that turns into it. So again, Jaedong's economy, 62 harvesters to 47 with a tech advantage too.
And a really fast 4th. I like that.
Wow.
I really do. He's saying, okay, I'm controlling the skies. You lost a lot of Lings trying to kill my third. Map control is firmly in the grasp of Jaedong. And one of the best ways to capitalize on that is, of course, tech switching, because you don't just stick on Mutas, but also adding a super fast 4th.
Yeah, and he Impact will make nothing that can attack air and move out across the map for a while. So these Mutas, free reign, as you said. Look at the map vision for Jaedong too. Control of 2 Xel'Nagas, Overlords all over the map. He's killing all of Impact's Overlords. Impact is not only playing behind, he's playing blind too.
Yep, and even a 5th hatchery being added for Jaedong, so that's one of the ways you can also end up spinning it. A lot of Lings dying on the right side of the map as Jaedong does hunt them down. Really, really being good about fishing around this map. This is something we saw from Life earlier. I don't know that we'll see this come out from from Impact, but we've seen like a Nidus Worm Queen Infestor attack. There is enough queens out there that this could be something on the scope for Jaedong. And one of the ways Life kind of delayed that and defended that in a previous EVZ was just making sure there's no map vision for that Nidus Worm.
I always love it when Zerg players get Burrow in ZVZ. In fact, any matchup, but particularly ZVZ. And I mean, it's not going to work out the best for like running Roaches absolutely everywhere, given there's so many Spore Crawlers knocking about. But even after those big engagements with the Roaches against Roaches, which this will inevitably be, you then heal up.
Oh yeah, it's the you must have upgrade. And honestly, you and I have been on that soapbox for a while in all 3 matchups, but it's nice to see it here. Jaedong is going to go ahead and get that Burrow upgrade. Both players getting +2 range attack. Infestors coming out for Impact. That's going to be a great answer. It's a way to handle the Mulus, but also it, of course, aids in the fight against things like Roaches and Hydras. It's a very nice utility catch-all unit to do. And in the backfield, by the way, Jaedong is, let me confirm this, but I think he's actually just going roaches again. This guy is madly in love with roaches right now.
Yeah, Impact. I like that he's going for Infestors now. He knows that Jaedong, does he know that he took a fourth? He's going to know that he's got a superior economy. You cannot beat a guy with a superior economy by doing the exact same thing. And a nice fungal does land there. It's going to kill 4 mutas. I like the way that the fungal projectile actually goes down that cliff right there.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Big shout out to Blizzard. You guys made an awesome game. But Jaedong is using these mutilas to earn him an advantage, and the advantage is real. A 45 supply advantage here. Unit count shows 47 roaches to 31. Now, Impact does have 6 infestors, and he has a grip of queens at 8. But I don't know if that's enough to overcome that. Upgrade-wise, they're going to be very, very similar here.
But Jaedong is grouping up here, trying to split these roaches as much as he can. Big fungal does land on the big group of roaches right there, but there's so much for Jaedong. Even if he does trade inefficiently, it's still good for him. And roaches in the main base, how did they sneak by?
I actually don't have an answer there. Those Zerglings are in there just tearing apart the economy in the backfield. Impact's got bigger fish to fry. He does hold off this attack, but you'll notice that supply differential is actually, again, in favor of Jaedong because he just traded so well there. Some Infestors did die. The Zerglings cleaning up the main. Impact just now realizing what was happening and is going to go ahead and start to work on those. But behind this, Jaedong, again, churning out more roaches. Carapace upgrade. And on the production tab, Impact has to remake his drones because he lost them there.
He was burrowing lings in the main base while he was burrowing his roach army. He does unburrow right next to Impact. These Infestors are kind of out of energy. Bit of a freeze frame there.
Oh, geez. The burrow trap is sprung. Infestors dying as they try to go across the map. Impact. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Jaedong is killing Infestors and roaches alike. Queen's called out here as well. The burrow play was nice. This play is so stunning that our production crew is even checking Twitter.
GG called by Impact. This series goes on to 1-1. First game, Impact took a nice build order win. In this game, Jaedong did pretty much the same.
Pretty much. It was hatch first versus 15 spawning pool, which is, a little bit oranges.
Soft build order.
The better build for sure. But it's execution, Demuzzle. This is something you were harping on. He out-microed, he made great choices, and he ties it up. Echoes of Snoot. Snoot won game number 1. Jaedong took game number 2. We're going to 3.
Jaedong looked a lot better in that last game, as you were highlighting Demuzzle. He had the scouting down. He knew exactly what was going on. He knew just how to stay ahead. It was really impressive.
If you give Jaedong a map big enough, where he can actually go mutas in ZVZ, he's just so good at utilizing those and transitioning out into roaches once again. It's just like, I feel like he always gets ahead with that no matter what.
It's amazing to see the impact. Like, yes, he killed 3 or 4 overlords, but for the most part, they flew around, started to kill a Hydra Den, and then 4 of the 6 died. But forcing spore crawlers, getting the queens to hold back, forcing infestor before roaches, the impact they have on economy is just so real.
And let's not forget that without those mutas, he loses that third base, and that's a giant part of it. If you're going to go with mutas to start, you need your third up before your opponent, and he got the cancel, but if Impact had killed his, the game may have been different.
That's actually a really good point.
Jaedong is on top of this. There's still a strong chance he can come through here with a win. I would love to see him in the finals. I don't care who it's against. I know we got a lot of Impact fans out there too, but between innovation and life, that's going to be incredible. Do you think he can do it still?
Yeah, I mean, even in the first game that he lost, he played that magnificently. How often do you get 10 pulled or 9 pulled when you're going 15 hatch? Then he went gas, then pull. He survived it and still played really, really well. Hung on into a roach versus roach game. He's not going to give up.
What a treat it's been, though. We've had a few blowouts, but for the most part, round of 16 in particular and on, there's been these big favorites, your innovations, your Jaedongs, and these guys are making them work for their money. I mean, not to write off Impact here. He very well could win in this game 3, and the story continues. But even at a glance right now, Jaedong has been sweating bullets facing this young buck.
No, he has had a hard road to get here, despite ZVZ being a matchup that he is godlike at. We're seeing that whether it's Korean, that's brand new to the scene, or a non-Korean out here, he's still having a hard time. I mean, this is where StarCraft 2 is at, guys. We got guys all the way back from Brood War old school. We got new school guys here from the international scene, and then we got people that were mentored by Jaedong here, putting up a really good fight. We are ready now for game number 3, but before we go into that, please get on Twitter, #DHOpen, spread the word. We want to get as many people tuned in as possible. And with that, we'll start game number 3.
All right, thank you guys. This has been an exciting ZVZ series thus far. Hopefully game number 3 will not disappoint. The Muslim, please introduce our first player.
So, spawning over in the bottom right of Jaedong Station, we have our Red Zerg, Axiom's Impact.
And in the top left, from Team Evil Geniuses, it is Jaedong. I can feel that in my bones, man.
That was good. I cannot compete with that.
Thank you. That's okay. Nobody can compete with Jaedong, except for the players that have been competing with him so far. It is game 3 in this shallow best of 3. Jaedong and Impact looking to move on. They will play the winner of either Innovation or Life. What a hell of a series that's going to be, by the way. Life has been on an absolute tear, and Innovation has been chuckling himself to a confident victory. He looked at the 8 guys, well, the 7 other guys, rather, in the round of 8 and said, yeah, I got this one.
Pretty easy.
I got this.
And he's a man that so far stood by his word. He took out Bunny and made him look, you know, just on a completely different level. And here again, in this game, we have Impact's going for a pretty safe build with it.
This is so funny.
First against a hatch first by Jaedong.
Jaedong is that guy that'll bluff you 3 times in a row, and every time you look into him, you fall deeper into his mahogany eyes and his musk. He is not afraid. I mean, game number 1, we've been harping on this. He was so far behind based on builds, but here, game number 2 and now 3, it's not the biggest of advantages, but yes, this is the build you would rather have. You do not want to be going 15 spawning pool. If you pulled all the Zergs, they'd be like, I'd love to go hatch first. Is that okay? Can I do that?
They really would. And last game, we saw these builds play out, but Impact sacrificed those 6 lings very early on, which could have, well, 2 of them could have been drones instead. So there are a few things that didn't go in Impact's favor. Let's see if he remedies that this game.
He did. He learned this time. Now, of course, in his defense, there's a map difference here. On this map, the Overlord, as you can see, is getting a hell of a scout. It needs to be a little bit careful about going too far in there. It'll die to a queen. But otherwise, it sees everything already. So the 6 lings would serve even less of a purpose here. You know, there's just no reason to do it. 2 queens now start for Jaedong. And in doing so, he's actually made pure drones. If you look at the harvester count, if you look at the supply, very close to mirror images. In fact, for right now, as I say that, it equals perfectly. One advantage that we can talk about, at least on paper, and yes, Impact will take the gas here, Jaedong has speed already started. That's going to give him some pretty strong map control.
Certainly will. Speedlings are so much better than slowlings. Not just because, well, they're faster, obviously, but the amount of damage that they can deal against slowlings, they just wrap around them that much faster. And you have to sacrifice so much ground if you're the slowling player. We do see Impact piling out quite a few queens here. There's going to be up to 4 queens pretty soon. So creep spread will be possible. Defense is very, very good with that amount of queens. And yeah, Jaedong running in with a couple of lings here is going to scout.
Really fast third, by the way.
Nice drone block on those lings. They do not get the chance to run ahead, so Impact playing smart there. Jaedong taking full advantage of having speed much earlier by getting this third base.
Yeah, that's a new form of pressure, and Impact sees this right from the beginning, so that's good news for Impact fans. But before this game boils over into ultimate aggression, I do want to say, by the way, we were remiss to mention this. These 4 players are also going to be re-invited to the Dreamhack Grand Final, excuse me as I stammer that out, at the end of the year, and the top 4 players get to go. So that's pretty cool. We're going to see more Impact, more Life, more Innovation, and more Jaedong. And anytime you can see more Dong, you're doing it right.
Yes, yes you are.
And I can say that because his name is Jaedong.
Jaedong, so good. Impact's playing pretty smart this game. 2 Evo chambers, just playing defensive, making a wall here with the spine crawler that he created earlier.
Yep.
The drone count is 35 to 31 in favor of Jaedong. Lots of lings being made here for Impact over the later speed.
It's interesting. He actually walked out 2 queens to Muslim to push out any potential overlords that would be scouting this otherwise. And mission accomplished so far. So a lot of lings coming out. These Evo chambers, of course, not being used, although there is a lair. Actually, is there? Let me confirm that. No, I misplaced my eyeballs. He has
so
no
many lings being made in control.
Yeah.
Look at these. They're all gathering at the top of the ramp. They cannot be scouted by overlords. These Impact's done a very good job of just saying, hey, you shall not pass. With the 2 queens at the front, the spine crawler, double Evos. Jaedong doesn't know if they're working or not.
No.
With this, in fact, they are going to go for roaches. So Impact He's not saying, hey, I'm going to all-in you. He's just getting ready for the next stage of the game.
Well, this is a pretty big thrust of units. Here we go. Jaedong has been waiting with his own supply, though. He actually has 7 roaches in production.
Have they not been scouted yet by Jaedong? Does he not know they're coming?
No, he sees it. Yeah, he sees it.
Okay, he just sees them on the map now with a little bit of a blob.
This third's dead, okay? It is not going to survive. It's just a question of whether or not Jaedong can button up at the natural. And so far, the answer is no! There's a hole in the wall, and roaches are starting to come out, but Jaedong's going to have to make the hold of his lifetime here.
He really is. These roaches are in a nice position right in the mineral line. More roaches do join the fray, but Impact is dealing so much damage with these lings right now.
A big part of the defense from roaches is going to be the angle, and unfortunately there's sandwiched up against that hatchery, so the Zerglings are getting the surface area they need. They've killed drones, they're killing the roaches, and they are starting to thin out in number, but damage done. 20 supply advantage for Impact, and it's continuing here.
Yeah, these lings just keep on running in here. The drones are in hold position, and they're not fighting against them. They would just be... They'd just get murdered if they did try to fight against this many lings. And Jaedong, he's definitely been taken for a ride here by Impact. A 20 supply lead now.
Yep, and even some more lings swinging in here. Impact not letting up, as we can see on the map. Jaedong is aware of this. More and more lings coming across. So much damage being done. Still, the 20 supply differential is closed up just a little bit, but just by a hair. And more lings swinging over here. And again, Roach is looking to maybe plug up that hole. Jaedong looks to be the stronger force at that point in time right now. And actually the third wasn't killed behind this, so I do pardon myself here. If Jaedong can restabilize, there's going to be a chance for a really explosive production follow-up.
That was actually seen exceedingly late by Jaedong. His overlords on the map did not see those lings until it was too late, and then he tried to wall off, and those lings just ran right in. That was really clever play by Impact, and Jaedong definitely suffered the consequences.
Even more Zerglings coming out from Impact, and actually that's where Jaedong's going to look to perhaps stabilize, because those additional Zerglings are only going to feed into an already inferior count. So it's nice. They're not really a threat to Jaedong at this stance. And as you can see on the production tab, Jaedong is the one now making drones as well. And even Roach is coming out. So Impact actually might just continue to all-out go for it. That 20 supply advantage starting to actually swing in his favor again here.
Impact, again, playing really, really smart. During that semi-all-in kind of attack, he was trickling in drones and kept getting more of a lead, killing drones, adding on drones. The army was not dying quick enough. It was only 9 roaches out in the field. Yeah. 3 queens fell too, so Jaedong's lava injects, everything got punished by Jaedong there, all from having his queen slightly out of position. You saw it trying to squeeze in, but it was literally a split second away.
It's really interesting. Jaedong is down in supply, but if you look at the production tab, they both have very similar upgrades. Both speed on the roaches, +2 timing attack, +2 range attack for those roaches, about the same. The Zergling skirmishes in the middle of the map are pretty equal as well. They seem to have kind of calmed down, just circling around out there. And Jaedong with that much faster third hatchery, is that going to be enough to close the gap? So far the answer's been no, but with more time, it could end up being the answer.
This was nice. A nice little Zergling surround by Jaedong, catching all those Zerglings of Impact. But this is what Jaedong should be fearing right now. This is a good group of roaches with 2 full energy queens. That is 8 transfusers marching across the map right now.
Yeah, and at first glance, it's just pushing off overlords. But to your point, if they actually do go forth with this, those transfusers, as we've seen throughout the tournament, have been extremely powerful. Zergling counterattacking to make its way to the third. But again, that third has 2 drones on it. Impact is on a 1-track mind right now. He wants to attack and attack now. Jaedong, he has to know about this at this point in time. He's seeing a resupply of roaches making its way over there, and he is trying to get out as many roaches as he possibly can.
Wow, these 2 queens are getting caught in the middle now, but transfusers do keep them alive. And this roach count, it's definitely getting bigger. 33 roaches to the 16 of Jaedong. What is Jaedong going to do to hold this off?
Well, he's doing everything he can to get as many roaches out as possible. Again, he's going to have that small advantage of, well, he's resupplying a little bit quicker. Impact goes forward, sees that there's a similar number of roaches, but he does have the advantage for right now. Jaedong trying to get up here to get a concave against that army, but again, Impact with the more roaches right now. Queens of Jaedong's behind here trying to do what they can. It's going to be close.
This is so sad for Jaedong right now.
It's not going to be close.
It's not going to be close. This is a lot of roaches. Those full energy queens are joining the fray right now, throwing down a couple of transfusers. Jaedong's army is getting eaten up. 29 roaches to the 7 of Jaedong, 31 roaches to the 8 of Jaedong. He is getting massacred here. Jaedong falling behind so far in supply.
Impact is in coast mode right now. It's going to be very hard to see him lose this game from here. He has destroyed the third. He's even got the Roach Warren if he wants it, and that's going to cut Jaedong away from being able to produce the units he absolutely has to. Zergling's so bad here. 12 more Roaches behind this. Impact is doing the victory dance. He has overtaken the Tyrant. He wants to play for a Dreamhack Grand Final here.
Yeah, great play by Impact. He did not buckle under pressure. I feel really bad for Jaedong. He is a teammate of mine, but Impact played the better series.
And a stunning win. This guy is beaming with happiness. He's done it. He's at least taken second place, but hell, with the way he's playing, look out, life and innovation.
Really impressive series there. I love that last game. It was like the damn walls were broken there with those Lings. They got in there, they did the damage they needed, and that strong finish with the Queens coming in out of Transfuse and those Roaches along with that final attack. We're seeing this pattern with Jaedong now. He just keeps getting outclassed when he gets late in these tournaments. Guys, give it up for our first finalist here at the Dreamhack Open in Bucharest. It's been amazing so far. I can't believe he managed to beat Jaedong. He's been doing just phenomenally. He may very well just go all the way. I mean, you take out Jaedong like this in a series like that, and we've seen how he's been playing before. It could go to the very end.
What a great breakout into the pro scene that would really be. Yeah, he's been around. We've kind of seen him in some clan wars and stuff. Occasionally in Korea, you see him pop up in a qualifier or something. But to win a Dreamhack on your first try, that's something else.
He's already, like I said, he's in the top 2. He's in the final. He's already earning TY winning money at this point in time.
Also,
beyond it.
His winnings were only at $600-ish, so he's definitely times that by 10 at least by now.
Yeah, history has changed for this guy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what his thoughts are now that he's managed to make it to the finals. Smix?
Thank you very much, Tasteless. Congratulations, Impact. That was absolutely amazing. You defeated JVZ somehow and showed everybody how amazing of a player you are. Now, Impact, when Axiom picked you up, many people questioned why, as you hadn't had any notable results in StarCraft 2, but now you're in the finals and you're showing everybody rather, why they picked you up and why they believed in you. Do you have any words for your team and believing in you and supporting you all this time?
여태까지 그 사람들이 처음에 그 악시험이 그 김주영 선수를 받았을 때 왜 그랬지? 막 이렇게 막 소문이 많았거든요. 솔직히 성적도 많이 없었고 근데 이렇게 이제 결승도 왔고 이제 지금까지 믿어줬던 팀들에게 한마디 해주세요.
믿어줬던 팀들이요?
믿어줬던 악시험 분들. 네.
솔직히 제가 엑시움에 와서 아직까지 아무것도 별로 한 게 없었는데 이렇게 제 실력이 나와서 여기까지 올 수 있었던 것 같고 회사 존이랑 제나가 지원을 정말 많이 해주고 친절하게 대해주셔서 여기까지 올 수 있었던 것 같아요.
So he says that after joining Axiom, he hasn't really had any really great results yet, but he feels like at this tournament his skill is really coming forth, and that's why he was able to make it to the finals. And in terms of team support, he feels like John and Jenna from Axiom have been incredibly supportive and just helpful in every sort of way, and that's why he thinks he was able to make it to the finals. Congratulations, congratulations Impact on making it to the finals. Best of luck. Guys, after this commercial break, we'll have our second semifinals in Life and Innovation.